Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And speaking of the updates, we post them quite a lot, so for only $5 you get access to this and to a bunch of other stuff. And yeah, let's see what Cardano is doing. So Cardano is currently going down, and it went down quite a lot. It actually got to the 0.786 support level. I mean, I did not even have the support level on the chart, and I only had the 0.618 support because I told you if we get below the 0.618 it's going to turn pretty bearish. Now we did bounce over here, but I don't really like this because this correction is way too deep, and if it's not in, we will most likely invalidate the whole 1-2 setup. I don't want to sound bearish, but I might turn bearish if we do not actually manage to get above this high right here very soon, because I mean we are at like 88 cents and yeah, things are not looking too good and this correction is way too deep. Of course it could be an ABC structure, and it is an ABC structure, so right now we have to see if we actually manage to form 5 waves up and get above this high, and then the next target would be right here. This is the target zone for the third wave. It's between $1.23 and $1.39, and then after that we will still need a fourth wave move down and a fifth wave move up somewhere here. And I told you until we get these 5 waves up, I cannot confirm that this low is in, which means that we could always get some kind of double bottom. And I mean, I've been talking about the double bottom scenario for quite some time now, and it's still likely as long as we do not manage to form 5 waves up. So if we keep going sideways and if we keep doing nothing, then this could lead to a much bigger drop, and I'm actually expecting the market to drop very soon, which means that Cardano might just drop again, and it could even get to like 63 cents, maybe to test the trend line right here, or maybe even get a double bottom like I said to test the 0.618 support level again, and that could put us at like 50 cents. And I've already explained why I think the market will drop. Now it's only a matter of time until it happens, or maybe it's not going to happen. But if you look at the Bitcoin chart, it's currently getting rejected by the bull market support band, and it's about to test the 200-day moving average again. We also have a trend line right here, but you know, this is not too accurate, and maybe we will bounce over here, but maybe we will not, who knows. And keep in mind we had a cross on the bull market support band, so things are actually not looking too great for the market, and I could see a drop happening very soon, and that drop could put us at about $75,000, in the worst case scenario even $69,000. And I know if that happens a lot of people will get scared, but it is what it is. And I know, I mean, it's a post-halving year and Bitcoin is supposed to go up, and it's obviously not going up, which means that there is a scenario of a left translated peak. Now, I don't really want to trust that, at least not right now. I think it's too early for that. And also you have to keep in mind, Bitcoin got to the oversold territory on the daily like a month ago or so, actually no, like a week ago, and this is actually very bullish because the last time we were oversold on the daily, Bitcoin was down here in August of 2024 and it was at like $49,000. And as you can see, after we got to the oversold territory, we actually got to the oversold territory multiple times after that. We got to the oversold territory 3 times, which means that we could do something like this again, and maybe we keep putting in lower lows and then at some point we bounce. Keep in mind here we also had a cross on the bull market support band when this move right here happened, so it's likely that this move to the downside just takes a bit longer and maybe another couple of weeks, and then we start going up and then we complete the third wave right here, the main third wave. I still think that this will be completed by the end of May no matter what, and the fourth wave move down should be, you know, completed by the end of July or so, and then we should get a top by the end of November or December, depends on what we want to do. So Bitcoin is still looking good, but it's not looking great, and especially when comparing it to the other couple of cycles. Now if you zoom out, things are looking very nice, but you have to keep in mind, I mean, so far this is pretty much the worst cycle yet. And I know people do not want to hear that, but in the previous couple of cycles, Bitcoin went up a lot more than it did in this cycle, especially in the post-halving year. So it kind of has to wake up right now if we actually want to not have a left translated peak. And I know many people are already talking about that. And you know, if we do not get a bounce very soon, and if we do not get a top in May and then a drop in June and July, it's very likely that this is actually a left translated peak. And if you don't know what that means, means, you should most likely Google it. Now, I don't think Bitcoin has stopped, but you never know. I mean, if you look at the monthly chart, the RSI, it's not even overbought anymore. And in the previous couple of cycles to top, Bitcoin needed to have an RSI of like 90 at least. And as you can see, every single top, the RSI went nuts. And right now, it barely went to like 76. So it is a bit concerning, but we still have time. I mean, this cycle has like 9 months left, and that's a long time in my opinion. And Bitcoin could always get a crazy bounce the next month or this month. So, don't really fall for the bearish ideas, at least not yet, because we are still on schedule. Of course, we are a bit behind, but when you look at it from this perspective, from the monthly perspective, it's still looking good. It's still on an uptrend. It's not like it went down like $100,000. So it's fine. And of course, at some point we will have a bear market, but I think the bear market will start in 2026. So you don't have to really worry about that. Well, as long as this is not actually a left translated cycle, we'll see if that's the case or not, and I will be able to tell you that by, let's say, the end of June or so. So we'll see what happens with Bitcoin, and if we do get another drop, do not be surprised, because I am expecting it. Now, if we do not get another drop, I mean, right now what we need to do is get back above the bull market support band, because if we are below the bull market support band, I mean, here I can show you an example. When we got below the bull market support band, yes, we did go back above it, but after that we dropped even more, and we stayed below it for quite some time. We stayed below it for about 5 months or so, maybe even 6 months. No, 5 months. So yeah, you should definitely look into this and maybe say that maybe Bitcoin would just go sideways for a bit, or even form new lows before actually continuing the pumps. Now, I also want to look at Ethereum. I still think Ethereum will drop very, very soon, and I think the next target for the fourth wave move down right here is at $1,789. I think it's likely that we get this drop, and why is that? Well, first of all, I mean, we got to the 50% extension like 4 times already, and we never bounced, meaning that we will most likely go down even more to test the next extension, and maybe we bounce here. If we do not bounce at the 618, the last chance to bounce would be at the 0.786, and I know this is a very low price, but I mean, it is what it is. And also, if you look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, maybe it is going to get another low. I don't really want to cover this chart because I don't usually cover it, but maybe we just get to these lows right here or test this low. I don't know, but it looks like it will go lower, and it is what it is. I know people don't like this, but if you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, it's still at 60%, so it could still go higher. Now, like I said, here what we are doing this month on the Bitcoin dominance chart, we are just going sideways, and this is very similar to what we were doing in the previous cycle right here before we started the altcoin season. And this sideways price action also happened in February and March. And then at the end of March, we had a huge move to the downside. So maybe this is what we're doing. I've been talking about this scenario for quite some time now. And like I said, if Bitcoin dominance does not start dropping by the end of March, or let's say at least by the beginning of April, it's not going to look good, because the altcoins will not have time to get to all-time highs. And like I said, I'm expecting Bitcoin to drop during the summer, meaning that if it drops, the altcoins will drop as well. And if Bitcoin dominance is not already down when it drops, then it will only go higher, and I don't think people want to see that right now, especially not people who bought altcoins, when they were going up, when they FOMO'd in, for example. But if you look at Cardano, it's still looking pretty good in my opinion. You have to keep in mind we got rejected by the moving average on the RSI and on a weekly chart, and I mean, we could always get another low because of that, because usually when we get rejected here, we test the lows right here again, meaning we could get to these RSI levels on the weekly chart again, and if we do, that would put us at like 50 cents, maybe 60 cents. And I told you many times, it is possible for Cardano to do absolutely nothing, and also it's also possible that we form a much bigger ABC structure, and that we even drop to like 38.6 cents before we get a third wave of the third wave. So we don't have 5 waves up. Also, we got rejected by the 0.618 resistance level like 7 times already, and I think we'll get rejected again very, very soon if we actually get back above $1 again. So yeah, I mean, mean, things are not looking too great, I know, but I'm only short-term bearish and I'm still long-term very, very bullish. So things do not really change. I mean, it's the exact same thing every single day. I know people are getting bored, but it's better than just going sideways. As long as we are getting these, 1, 2 setups, we should at least learn something interesting from this. And, I told you many times, everything is better than sideways price action because we are making progress. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's progress to the upside or the downside. At least we are making progress, and at least the chart is doing something instead of just doing something like this over here. This was just a painful period. I mean, nobody really cared, myself included. I did not really want to make videos when this was happening because there was nothing happening, but I have to make updates because, you have to know what's going on in the market. And I mean, if you look at the ADA Bitcoin chart, this could also continue going down. And I told you this scenario multiple times. We could get another blow right here, another bottom like we did right here. And like basically we formed a 1-2 setup. Then we went up. This was a fake out. Just like here, we had a 1-2 setup, a fake out, and then we formed another low, which again went below the 0.786 resistance level, well, the support level. And yeah, we could do something like this again, and that could put us at like 500 Satoshis again. So you have to be prepared for that in case it does happen. Now, if it does not happen, then the next target would be right here between 2,700 Satoshis and 4,000 Satoshis. But I don't know if this will happen or not. It's really hard to say, especially right now when the altcoins are just doing nothing. But you have to keep in mind, Bitcoin dominance is at 60%, and at some point it will start dropping. And when it does, the ADA Bitcoin chart will form some kind of 5-wave move to the upside, like it did right here. At least in my opinion. We'll see if that happens or not. Also, I want to talk about the ADA Ethereum chart because this is also a very important chart. And I mean, I think this is the wrong chart actually. Let me look for the better one. Here we go. This is the long-term chart. So basically this chart is in a downtrend and we will test the trend line right here. If we get rejected right here, it's likely that the top on the ADA Ethereum chart is already in. And if it is, that's not going to be bullish for Cardano in the long term because this is a downtrend and we could always form new lows every single cycle, meaning that at some point Cardano will go to zero against Ethereum, and that's not good. So we kind of have to break above the trend line right here and even break above the 2021 all-time highs if we want Cardano to actually start outperforming Ethereum. Is that going to happen? Well, I don't know. I mean, whatever I say is just going to be speculation, and you have to keep in mind we keep putting in lower highs and lower lows, and this is not bullish. So if Cardano wants to prove itself, it has to get above the trend line and get above these highs right here. Is that going to happen? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. And Cardano is still doing what it did in the previous cycle. It's still in the exact same structure, so it's only a matter of time until we get above the trend line right here, like we got over here. And I think that will happen very, very soon. Maybe I'm gonna be wrong, but so far I have not been wrong, so who knows at this point. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.